A nation is a group of people living on the same land, united by language, history, ideals, feelings, traditions, and customs. Countries are either composed of one nation or of nations that have come together. Nations that decide to become a country under the conditions of the time, or whose destiny develops in this way, may in time resist this and want to continue their way alone. Although nationalist movements often underlie this desire, some of them may have deeper social and economic differences from the other nations that make up the country. Throughout history, many countries have been created, destroyed, or divided. Not all of them were marked by war and violence like Yugoslavia. For example, the two communities that make up Czechoslovakia, the Czechs and the Slovaks, were separated by agreement. Today, there are still communities that want independence, both by force and by peaceful means. In this video, we look at the 5 most likely countries to form in the near future. Catalonia. Catalonia is a region in southeastern Spain that includes the cities of Barcelona, Girona, Lleida, and Tarragona. It is perhaps the most vocal and well-known of the world's communities seeking independence. In 2014, they held an unofficial referendum on independence, with more than 80% of the vote in favor, drawing a strong response from Spain's central government. Under the fascist Franco, the Catalan people were subjected to political repression and their language was banned. Today, Catalonia is an autonomous region. Catalonia has its own flag, its own anthem, and even an unofficial national team, almost as if it were ready to form its own independent country. Although they are historically distrustful of Spain and want to form their own country to feel freer, economics is one of the biggest motivations behind this desire. Catalonia is the richest region in Spain, and they believe they will become even richer if they leave Spain, which is struggling with crises. Korea. Yes, there are already 2 Koreas, but I'm talking about a unified Korea. The Korean War was the first hot conflict of the Cold War between the US and the Soviet Union. The 2 imperial powers tested each other over Korea and divided the country in 2. The North under Soviet and Chinese influence and the South under American and Western influence. Although the country was divided, there is still no peace treaty signed after the Korean War. North Korea, as we all know, is a closed country and is ruled by an oppressive regime. If this regime falls one day, the divided people will reunite and strengthen each other, and they can become one Korea without the separation of North and South. Flemish Republic. The Dutch-speaking Flemish region is one of the 3 federal regions of Belgium. It borders the Netherlands to the north. It includes major cities such as Brussels, Ghent, Antwerp, and Bruges. Belgium was actually a country that has been in crisis for a long time because of its inability to form a government. The leader of the Flemish Nationalist Party said that he had to be a leader in the coalition to be formed, otherwise he would divide the country. It is not only government crises that have led to this idea. Independence movements have been active in the Flemish region for a long time. This region is richer than other parts of Belgium and is affected by this government crisis. If the problems continue much longer, it could lead to a real division of Belgium and the creation of the Flemish Republic. Scotland. Scotland is one of the 4 countries that make up the United Kingdom. It has its own parliament and prime minister, but it is dependent on the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom Parliament can take over the powers of the Scottish Parliament or appoint new powers. So they are not independent, although they are engraved in our minds as a country with their national teams, with their teams in the European Cups. But Brexit could make Scotland independent and, as William Wallace shouted in Braveheart, free. The Scots wanted to stay in the European Union. They voted no by 62% in the Brexit vote. In fact, Scotland has held referendums to leave the United Kingdom before, but they all came out no, and experts say that this time things will change in a possible referendum after Brexit. Bavaria. Bavaria is a state in southeastern Germany consisting of 7 cities, including Munich and Nuremberg. Geographically, it is the largest state in Germany. It is also the richest. It is the center of the automobile industry and has the lowest unemployment rate in Germany. The Bavarian Party, founded in 1946, has been campaigning and working for secession from Germany for a long time. They state that they do not want to share Bavaria's wealth with Germany and even claim that a different language is spoken in Bavaria, for which they have requested an expert opinion from the European Court of Justice. After the unofficial referendum in Catalonia, the Bavarian Party appealed to the court to hold a referendum on independence in their state, which was rejected, but they are still working on it. If you look at these 5 countries, the biggest factor in seeking independence is the economy. Until recently, it was economically very important to have large territories because we lived in an agricultural world, but after the technological revolution, it became more important to be productive rather than large. Even though wars continue unabated in certain parts of the world, the fear of a world war is diminishing day by day, which undermines the drive to be a big state. What do you think? Which new country will be founded soonest?